The scorching sun beat down on the dusty road, turning the little town of Parrington into a shimmering mirage. Right. Inside the rickety old bus, 16-year-old Atia gripped her worn-out seat, her heart heavier than the backpack slung over her shoulder. Today was the day of the annual inter-school talent competition, an event that had always seemed like a distant fantasy to her. But somehow this year she found herself on the way there, clutching a microphone that felt more like a scepter. Atia wasn't known for her looks or her wealth. In fact, she was mostly known for the faded gingham dress that had become her uniform. But today, she wasn't wearing that dress. Today she was wearing something different, something precious, something that held the echoes of her mother's laughter. It was an old blue velvet dress, a relic from her mother's youth. The dress had seen better days, much like Aisha's life, but it was all she had left of her mother. The thought of stepping onto that stage in her mother's dress both terrified and thrilled her. Her palms were sweaty, her knees weak, but she straightened her shoulders, took a deep breath, and decided to face her fear head-on. As the bus rumbled to a halt outside the imposing gates of St. Mary's Academy, Aisha felt a surge of apprehension. St. Mary's was the epitome of wealth and privilege, a world away from her own. The moment she stepped off the bus, she knew she was an outsider. The other students eyed her with a mixture of curiosity and disdain. They saw the worn fabric of her dress, the scuffed sandals on her feet, and the frayed backpack at her side. They saw everything except the story that unfolded within those faded seams. Little did they know that that old blue dress held memories of a life that had loved fiercely, dreamed wildly, and endured silently. The auditorium buzzed with excitement. Spotlights sliced through the darkness, illuminating rows of expectant faces. Backstage, Atia nervously adjusted her dress, its velvet brushing against her skin like a whisper from the past. The MC's voice boomed, announcing the first contestant. One by one, they took to the stage, each more polished, more privileged than the last. There were classical dancers in shimmering tutus, singers in designer gowns, and instrumentalists whose instruments gleamed under the stage lights. Every performance was met with thunderous applause, drowning out Aisha's rising anxiety. Her turn was approaching, and with it, the weight of her preparation, the hopes woven into her dreams, and the unspoken expectations of a mother's memory pressed upon her. When her name was announced, a hush fell over the crowd. Some snickered, others leaned closer, eager to witness what this unexpected contestant had to offer. Aisha's hand trembled as she reached for the microphone. The familiar weight of it brought a sense of grounding, anchoring her amidst the storm of emotions. With a deep breath, she began to sing. Her voice rang out, clear and strong, echoing through the vast auditorium. Each note was a story, each lyric a memory. She sang of resilience, of hope, and of a mother's enduring love, her voice weaving a tapestry of emotion that transcended the boundaries of wealth and privilege. The audience was captivated. Snickers had ceased. The murmurs faded. All that remained was the music and the girl in the faded blue dress who poured her heart out with every word. As the final note faded away, silence hung heavy in the air. It wasn't the polite silence of restraint, but the profound quiet of reflection. Then, as if awakened from a shared reverie, the audience burst into applause. It wasn't merely an applause, it was a standing ovation. Some in the crowd dabbed at their eyes, others swayed to the lingering melody. It was a testament to the universality of the girl's song, a song that had spoken to their souls regardless of their social standing. Backstage, the reality of her accomplishment hadn't fully sunk in yet. Her legs still trembled, her heart still pounded, and her hands were clammy despite the fading music. The applause echoed in her ears, mingling with the muffled chatter backstage. She looked down at the old blue dress, its velvet now slightly rumpled, but no less vibrant. It was more than just a dress. It was a symbol of her journey, her strength, and her unwavering spirit. The doors to the auditorium opened, revealing a scene that made her gasp. The MC, a renowned actor known for his warm smile and infectious laughter, was striding confidently towards her. His presence radiated a comforting familiarity. "Aisha," he said, extending a hand that was firm yet gentle. "I need to tell you something." She took his hand, her fingers lacing between his, feeling a sense of security in his touch. "You didn't just win the competition, child. You won the hearts of everyone here." His eyes twinkled with admiration. "I've seen many performances in my time, but yours," he paused, searching for the right words, "was nothing short of magic." As he spoke, the enormity of the day washed over her. She had faced her fears, defied expectations, and in doing so, had touched the souls of the audience. The realization brought a wave of emotion, a mixture of pride, gratitude, and disbelief. In the days that followed, Aisha's life changed in ways she had never imagined. The local newspaper ran a story about her, praising her raw talent and the emotional depth of her performance. Her phone began to ring with calls from people she barely knew, all wanting to congratulate her or offer support. Some were genuinely kind, while others were less savory, seeking favors or donations. Through it all, Aisha remained grounded, her feet firmly planted in the reality of her life, even as she basked in the glow of her newfound recognition. She continued to attend her small village school, to help her grandmother with household chores, and to dream bigger than her circumstances. The old blue dress, now hanging carefully in her closet, served as a constant reminder of her journey. It was a symbol of her transformation from a shy, insecure girl into a confident young woman who knew her voice mattered. Despite the fame and fortune that now beckoned on the horizon, Aisha never forgot where she came from. In fact, she used her newfound platform to give back. She organized charity events, raised funds for underprivileged children, and became a vocal advocate for education and equality. The girl who once stood on a stage, trembling in a torn dress, had become a beacon of hope, proving that dreams, like melodies, can transcend even the most daunting silences. One evening, as Aisha sat in her small room, surrounded by reminders of her journey, she received a call that made her heart skip a beat. On the other end of the line was the chairman of a prestigious music academy in the capital city. He had seen her performance and wanted to offer her a scholarship, a chance to hone her raw talent under the guidance of seasoned professionals. It was a dream opportunity, one that could launch her into a world of music beyond her wildest imaginations. But as Aisha considered the offer, a conflict arose within her. A part of her, the part that dreamed of grand stages and adoring crowds, yearned to seize this chance. The other part, more rooted in reality, worried about leaving her grandmother, about fitting into a world that seemed so distant from her own. The velvet dress lay across her lap, a tangible link to her past, her present, and the uncertain future that lay ahead. Its soft texture a comfort against her racing heart. The dress had been a silent witness to her triumphs and her struggles, and Aisha felt its comforting presence as she grappled with this life-altering decision. As dusk painted the sky in hues of purple and orange, Aisha found herself at the bus stop. The worn velvet dress a reassuring weight on her shoulders. Beside her stood her grandmother, her wrinkled face etched with both pride and worry. Tears glistened in her eyes, mirroring the bittersweet ache in Aisha's heart. The bus rumbled to a halt, its arrival a stark contrast to the quiet farewell they had shared moments before. As Aisha climbed onto the bus, her gaze lingered on her grandmother's receding figure, until it was nothing but a silhouette against the setting sun. Clutching the velvet dress, she sank into her seat, the familiar squeak a strange comfort in the sea of unfamiliar faces. The engine hummed to life, carrying not just her physical form, but also the echoes of her grandmother's love and the dreams that bound them together across the miles. If you enjoyed this heartwarming tale, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more inspiring stories. Your support means everything to us. Thank you for watching.